Hello, curious student. I am assigned Tong Sungya. This is our third lectures of our economics, chapter 3, money and credit. So today our topic is sectors of credit. Credit means loan. Credit generally have two types: formal source of credit or informal sources of credit. So first of all, let us discuss formal sources of credit. Okay, student, do you know when did the formal sources of credit existed? Okay, let me tell you. It existed only after 1990. Okay, so before 1990, there were no formal source of credit. There were only informal sources of credit. And number two, provided by bank and cooperatives. The bank may be government sector and the private sector, and the cooperative association also like Amul's like MNC it may be. Okay, and there are so many others apart from this also. Next is SARS low interest. So formal source of energy actually it charges very low interest around like 10-12%. Okay, next is asks collateral and document. So they ask collateral. Collateral mean any asset. Okay, any asset, and also full clear document they demand. Next is informal sources of credit. The informal sources of credit is like this. It provided by money lender, businessmen, servicemen, relatives, etc. So that means this type of like money lender, businessmen, services, they are available in everywhere, like in the village area as well as in the town area. So this type of person, they always provide as a informal sources of credit to the borrower. Next is it is based on mutual trust. So they never ask actually collateral and the important document, but they believe that the borrower will refund the particular amount to the supplier. So it is just like the mutual trust. It is just they only trust. After trust, they just issue the money. So next is no collateral acts or require. There is no collateral. Collateral means just like the any type of asset and like property. Okay, they never ask. Next is high rate of interest they charge. So as this is this type of loan is a very risky to get back. Okay, but that's why they generally ask very high interest from the borrower. So I hope you understood this topic like formal sources of loan and informal sources of loan. So our next topic is reasons for dependence on informal sources of loan. As we know that these informal sources of loan charge very high interest, but still the people dependence on these informal sources of loan. So what are the reasons behind this? Banks are not present everywhere. So this is the most important factor, that banks are not present everywhere. So that's why people dependent on informal sources of loan. Next is getting loan from banks need collaterals and clear documentation. So as we know that when we like to have formal sources of loan, the bank always asks collateral. Collateral means asset and also property, very clear documentation. So that's why we usually approach to the informal sectors of loan. So this is the main reason behind this. So in this way, next point, informal sources provide loan without collateral and documentation. So just opposite like that, informal sources of loan provide without any collateral. That means without any property and also without any document. Next is easy to access informal loans for everyone and available in rural and urban as well as rural areas. So it is very easy to access informal sources of loan. Access means to get, okay, to have for everyone, and also available in urban areas. Urban area means town areas as well as in the rural areas. Rural means village areas. So these are the main reasons why people still depending on these informal sources of loan, though it is a very high interest charge, but still people dependent on these informal sources of loan. So I hope you have understood why people are still depending on informal sources of loan. So let us go to the next topic. So this is our next group, self-help group. So let us discuss self-help group. Each have generally 15 to 20 members belonging to same village. So this type of self-help group generally it have only 15 to 20 members, but it is very region to region. Okay, it may be difference in Uttar Pradesh or it may be difference in Haryana. Okay, it may be defending state to state or village to village. Next is its main motive is to help the poor. So the self-help group main aim is to help the poor peoples, the poor family. Next is saving per member may vary from rupees 10 to rupees 100 or it may or more. Okay, so saving per member. So in this self-help group, the members of this self-help group, they have to save some amount, they have to contribute some amount in every month. So it may be also different from region to region. Okay, it may be from 10 rupees to the 100 rupees, or it may be more than 100 rupees also. It is depending on the particular area. Next is it provides loans to their members at a reasonable interest rate. So the self-help group provide loan to member at a very reasonable rate, in a very low interest rate. Okay, so next is if the members of the self-help group, SHG means self-help group, save money regularly, they can have loans from bank without collateral. So this is very interesting actually. If the self-help group work properly, if they contribute regularly, the bank provide them loan in the name of that particular self-help group. This loan also, the bank will not ask collateral. That means without collateral, the banks provide them loan. Next is loan is sanctioned in the name of the group. So as I told you before, loan is sanctioned. Loan provide the bank in the name of the particular self-help group. So student, this is your last topic. So I hope you understood, and this video will be contribute to you a little knowledge. So if you have any doubt, you just ask me in the comment. I will try to solve your doubt.